Greetings, kindred. I am Voivodemekhet, and welcome back to our World of Darkness. And I'm realizing how little light there actually is in this. There we go. That's a little bit better. I look a little bit more human. This is going to be a short recap on the 9th session of the Fort Myers by Night City of Bombs LARP. I'm not good at keeping up with these things. My prince was not in the city last month, so I guess this is the April game session. I understand that I'm putting this out on May 5th, but like I don't know. I always get in there and I realize, oh, I forgot to do this. I'm better at keeping up with the R story through memes videos, but when it comes to the breakdown of what happened, this whole thing has just been very interesting. This social experiment, which a lot of LARPs really tend to be. My prince was not in the city. He was off handling affairs afar, visiting other Camarilla cities to look for support from other princes, because running a city, especially a city that is just completely full of independents and anarchs, trying to get them to coordinate in a Camarilla fashion can actually be quite difficult, and the help from the others is very important. First off, again, I have to say thank you to one of our players who was letting us utilize their home as a play spot. We do have a new venue finally, and it's more than we ever could have hoped for. But in the story, of course, there's like the little interplays of status and all that, and there was a lot going on when it came to the status game. But my character this time around was Don Carlos Basilio Pisanab, a Hecata from Cuba who is effectively the Dawn of Havana. In the story that I'm running, Havana, or Cuba in general, is split up amongst various Dawns, and it's primarily a Hecata area. And there's a portion of Anarchs also there who are not happy with the situation because the Anarchs see themselves as being there first. Don Carlos has been in town for months at this point. A while back, I may have mentioned that a body was delivered to the St. Andrew's Cross Clinic, which is a Kindred-owned establishment, with a note that effectively just said, "Please hold until further instructions." The body was Don Carlos. He was using the Oblivion Power Mask of Death, masquerading as a corpse. And now that the prince was out of town, it was time for him to get up and stir some trouble. So he basically came in, he got accepted by Giselle, our lovely seneschal, met up with some people, actually helped the security staff with the situation involving this hunter speculation that's going on in Fort Myers, and was able to get them information that basically said they are not hunters at all. They are a government agency who are there watching the ports for human trafficking issues. Now, Don Carlos also made it quite clear that he was upset with the prince of Fort Myers, Prince Myers, for halting business from Havana to Fort Myers. Apparently, the prince, without telling anybody, went to Havana and told Don Carlos that he needed to find another location. This started a domino effect of Kindred in the city losing money. And the prince did not take that into consideration or did not care, one or the other. It is still left up to the players to decide and figure out on that one. And so Don Carlos came in, spoke his piece, and tried to make friends as best as he can in the area. At the very end of the night, when everybody was doing the final uproar of status and everything, and he had already pissed off a good amount of people, but he actually made a good amount of friends, Don Carlos did, especially the security team and everything like that. He was just basically throwing insults out under his breath. Anybody who was like within earshot could hear that he was not too happy with the way things were being run. So he came up and I believe he first gave his support. Since he is now an accepted member of the city, he has the ability to give a single support and a single opposition. He gave his single support to Lottie, our Malkavian Primogen, for her ingenuity in the investigation on the hunters. However, he gave his single opposition to the prince of the city for keeping secrets from his city, for stopping business that was coming through, and oh my God, the outbreak. He gave his support, spoke clearly, and then left. And it just left everybody in a tizzy for the rest of the night, specifically Giselle, who ran off and disappeared for the month. It's been a very interesting interaction on our Discord. The interactions between the Primogen Council, the interactions between the city's higher council involving the sheriff and the prince and everything else. And the best part is everybody's like, oh, like there's so many people who are just like, oh, we need to take this guy out. And the prince shows up. They tell him what happened. He goes, what did he do wrong? I angered him. It's quite obviously. I went into his domain. I told him to stop working through my domain. And he had to listen. Then he came over. He is quite obviously responsible for the amount of wraiths that were in the Elysium not too long ago, which ended up us hiring another Hikata to come in and help clear things out. But like, he literally is playing by the city's rules. You know, he's not doing anything too wrong. He gave his opposition to the prince. And really, one of the big reasons I did that is I wanted to show the players that they can, in fact, oppose the prince. There are social repercussions that can come from this, because the prince has allies. He has people who are there to make things run smooth for him. And these are player characters. Our Seneschal is my assistant storyteller. That way we can break off, make sure at least the prince or the seneschal is going to be there, and we can run a city like normal. And she's upset by this. Frankly, very upset for her own reasons as well. But showing the players that you can, in fact, stack your opposition against the prince. That he is not one, depending on how he wants to act too. I could totally abuse my power of prince and start yanking acceptance and acknowledgements left and right. Luckily, as far as the plot goes, this prince, Abraham Charles Myers, is not that kind of guy. And so far, he's just asking people why. Why is this so upsetting to everybody? It's one opposition. It takes many oppositions to gang up to remove my status. The fun thing is, and I will continue this in the video for the 10th session, but the fun thing about all this is there is one player character that had direct ties with the Don before he came in. Tony the Brewhop. We have a Brujah who's being called the Postman. I love it. I love the fact that he's got this like title, and he is pretty much in charge of the. He's pretty much in charge of the dockings and the shipping. So like all the time, the many decades that have been going by with the shipping to Fort Myers from Havana, it's been going through Tony. It's been going through this Brujah. And he was one of those people who don't ask, don't tell. And so his funding specifically got hit pretty hard. And he's not happy with the prince about it. And he has his own personal thoughts on how to handle it. And I love the fact that Tony's player has felt comfortable enough to come up to me and Lore and discuss what he plans on doing. It's not one of those situations where it's like, I'm going to hide my intent from the storytellers. Because what he wants to do would not happen without our help. He has to set things up. He has to go through us. And he has a trust for the storytellers when it comes to this, even though he doesn't have a trust for the prince. So that's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun that he's decided that he can include us in on the out-of-character planning of this in-character plot that he's got going. Anyway, so that is pretty much everything that's going on, aside from like the little backstabbing status social game that happens within our city. But with that, thank you. Thank you for joining me on this quick overview of Session 9 of Vampire the Masquerade, our Fort Myers by Night City of Palm storyline. I will see you in the next one, which will come up very, very quickly because I have to go ahead and, now that I'm thinking about it, go ahead and do Session 10's recap because we just had that a couple days ago. Okay. Have a good night.